actually, Kathy, we had set it up beforehand, so it was all set. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologise for being late. It is now 10 minutes past 7 on June 25th, 2013 at the Abington Conservation Commission. We actually have 3 regulatory items in our new business. But before we begin, there's just a few housekeeping. First, is anybody taping the meeting? Well, thank you, Ms. Powers. And the second thing is, we're going to open with our old business and welcome back Mr. Watson, Jim Watson from the Old Colony Council, who's come with an open space plan that we have been talking about. So, if I may, we're going to go forward to commissioners with that first. Jim.
Hi. Oh, welcome back to me, I guess, to everybody. What's sort of awkward is that we were contracted to update the 2006 plan quite a while back. And normally we would have had a major public session in the very beginning to get people's ideas. A couple of things were scheduled and didn't work out, and then there was a turnover on the board, various things.
Right.
So we sort of continued along. And what we have here is the draft. It's about 95% complete. There's some maps whose numbers changed and the locations changed, so we'll see a few things that have kind of written numbers on them. But this basically is it, as it stands. But the thing is, that's it, as we did it, based on our understanding of the town, with very little town input.
Right.
You know, talked to Jim Dombrowski conversationally,
Yeah.
bits and pieces, but no open session. And what I'm prefacing it with is this handout titled Results of the 2006 Plan Recommendations. What happened was that almost nothing happened. There was a vote to acquire the Borowicki property, but then it got bogged down in suits. And there was there was the acquisition of the so-called Carista land to the east of this main piece here, to the east of the Ruber Hill land. Bought by another group and then turned over to bought by the town. But beyond that, there hasn't been very much. So the bulk of the recommendations from 2006 stand because nobody said they shouldn't. And what we're doing is updating what there was, not undermining it or rethinking it, but looking for extensions of some of these ideas. So this extremely handsome graphic I just gave you is actually a working map I did for the map maker, for Susan, to expand these brief notes from last time. And so maybe if you don't mind, that's the thing to do would be to make the circuit with these.
Sure.
And, but we had a handout last time which was asking people if they had major preferences, if they thought some of these ideas from last time were terrible or were great, to mark this up and get it back to Nancy. And actually that was the previous board. I guess you probably didn't get them all. And then we had a handout before where people could suggest acquisitions, transfers, changes of use that they had in mind. And so, I think we'll give you these again, so that if you do have some thoughts, over the next few weeks, because we spent the money. We just voted it, and we already spent it. But if people have some specific.
I thought we were gonna have an open session in
May.
September, like a public meeting. Wasn't that the idea that we had discussed?
Yeah. That's fall, you mean? That's fall?
No, this coming fall.
Okay.
Because I think you had asked us the last time to have some kind of public meeting. And we thought trying to do it over the summer is probably, like the voter turnout today.
I saw a voter,
I voted. But I think that, he voted, he's got a sticker. But it might be a way to encourage a little more public participation.
Yeah, because both as an ethical matter, there should be public participation. And as a political one, Melissa Cryan, who reviews these for the Executive Office of Environmental Affairs, and it's in my throat. She's very rigid on public participation, because we've had other plans where she said, well, you don't show there was really much participation. And we went back and got meeting notes and a list of names and sort of bent over backwards to make the case that it was available to anybody who wanted to participate. This is in West Bridgewater, and not many had come, but we had a handful beyond the committee.
And can I ask you, Jim, do
Sure.
we have to have this done by a certain time?
No.
Nancy and I are wondering about that
No.
now. So one of the aims for this, of course, is that it gives the commission and also the selectmen who appoint us and the new town town manager a vehicle within which to look for grants. And I know from conservation in
look for what?
Massachusetts to look for grants.
Yeah,
And
right.
Yeah, that's
But
right.
is
This
it-
is an important factor. In fact, it's required for many of the grants
Yeah.
we apply.
What it is that you can apply for land or park money with only an outline, you know, if you're doing a plan. But to get the reimbursement, you have to have a completed, approved plan. And so it becomes crucial if you have a major grant and it's time to get the state money reimbursing your local expenses.
Now, we have a basic draft here, Plan Update 2013. Are there any comments about that or about the...
Can you judge it by its cover?
Well, Kathy talked about having a public meeting, which we talked about. Is there any other discussion?
How long if this plan was, we had it all set and everybody had their public comment, and everybody put their input in it, when you guys put it together, how long is it good for?
It's 7 years.
7 years?
It used to be 5 years, but they just changed it recently.
Okay.
So it's good for 7 years. Yeah, which is pretty decent. And
What are your thoughts, commissioners, about using one of our Tuesday meetings in September? I mean, we have to circulate the plan that we have through the selectmen and through the townspeople, but using one of our Tuesday meetings just to devote it to the open space.
I think that would be probably very helpful, you know, and at that point, you know, hopefully some people will come forward with, you know, some reviews of the plans, and maybe we'll have some of the boards and commissions
Yeah.
respond as well, because I would think you'd want, you know, buy-in from the selectmen as well, so it might be a way to help
Exactly.
you with that.
because right now, I'm very sure that she wouldn't approve it as it stands, because the only public involvement is of the commission,
Mhm.
which turned over. You know, there isn't the open space committee from before, there isn't. So that I think it would be a lifesaver to have such a meeting, and the thing, it might well be shot down.
Well, we
If we
want
didn't.
a public. I wonder if it's possible to do this plan, this draft plan, put it on the website. Do you think that's possible, or would it be too?
Probably is, I don't know how to do it, but.
No, we
but
could
people
ask the
do.
selectmen about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would think so, and maybe they could put it on their front page, like, so that
Yes.
people could
Yeah.
follow the link to
They
download
could scan it in and upload it on the
Yeah.
site. I
Right.
think that wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, it's just, it might be, they may have to do some fancy stuff because there's so many pictures in it
Yes.
to keep the size down.
But I could send it as attachments, if that would work.
Well, I mean, we can talk to the IT people here,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because there is an IT person here in the town. But, and also to make this plan available here in the town hall, where people can come.
In the library probably as
Yeah,
well.
in the library, that's an excellent idea, you know,
And I think that makes a lot of sense.
yeah.
And then, I'd really appreciate it if you all would read through the present one. But there are a few things that should be corrected before put on the site, but they're minor. Mislabeling of a map, or wrong page number,
Right.
odds and ends, but just so that I caught the last minute.
So this is a plan to go forward, and I think I'm going to make this a regular item at every one of our meetings, because this is what the Conservation Commission is supposed to be about, not so much the regulatory thing which everybody knows about, but a really open space. So this will be an item in every one of our meetings, but should we aim for, you know, to tell the selectmen that maybe we could use one of our meetings is September a good time? September, October?
I think so. I think that would be good. And if we end up finding that we need to add an extra meeting to deal with it, we'll have to deal with it then.
I think we should actually have, same thing like you were saying, have two. One would be for public comment, open comment, and then we should probably have another one with any of the, say like the assessor, board of selectmen,
Right.
and get their input
And any general
on-
public.
Right.
I mean, as long as you make it very well advertised that it's available, many people might not come. But
Right.
if we can document that it's had in the paper,
Yeah.
open public meeting on plan, you know, then nobody can say we didn't try.
Yeah, because then the other town departments could give us feedback on, there's a lot of stuff which would be major purchases, and
Yeah.
we might
Nancy, is
just,
the
they might
best
just
way
say,
to
well, we're
just-
not in a situation to do it right now, and we might wanna rethink doing something else, so.
Right, I know your concern is with the cost of the taxes
Right.
and how that runs, yeah, sure.
Some of the recommendations here are more about using what you have, because you know, Griffin's Dairy is owned by the town, not by the commission, I believe. The Diane Circle land, even the back part, is owned by the town. The so-called Carista land is owned by the town, not by the commission. I mean, there's several major cases, which happens in every town, but I mean, your role is limited a little bit when you don't actually control the site except in a regulatory way. And I think what you're saying makes sense. If you don't mind, I'll take these back, because I'm getting that map redone. I just wanted to, if we're going through all the sites, I just wanted to give you.
Is it possible to get a copy like that to show in the town?
Sure.
But that's from 2006.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But even that's the beginning.
That'd actually be nice to even leave downstairs, Dennis, at the
Yeah.
door saying, with a note that, public hearing
Well,
will
you
come.
just have that and have these additions
Mhm.
beside it, or in a different color type or something. And we recommended a few more acquisitions along Beaver Brook in particular, and near the waterlands by
But
Myers
the-
Ave. But
The plan is not only for more acquisitions, though, it's also to use the properties that we do have or that the town has. I mean, I remember you were talking about the bicycle trail and the rail trail.
And we own properties, but they're not connected,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
hikers and bikers.
we're just
and
talking about the rail trail now, and that's in here, it says complete local portion of Hanover Branch Rail Trail. I mean,
Where is
that's-
the rail trail in Abington?
I think that part is where the tracks curve off from the main line.
Mm-hmm.
That's not our new idea, it's everyone's
Right.
talking about it. But
So is
It's
that
right over by near
139?
Griffin's Dairy.
Yeah, I know where it is.
Yeah.
I know where he's
Is
talking
that
about.
139 or where?
It's
It's off the road, it's
It's
south
off-
of 139.
Yeah, it's between where the railroad maintenance train area is, right there on the railroad tracks.
North
Actually
Abington
goes
State
through
Square.
Oh, right.
through that way.
Yeah. That's it's hard to read, but, there's a big split in the tracks and a small line goes
Because
east.
there was actually the local Mariner, and I think the Enterprise, certainly the Mariner, had a whole article about this, and the trail goes down to Situate maybe.
Right, so it would,
Yeah.
we'd have an origin point in Abington if we
Yeah.
did that.
And that's it, it's a
We
small
could be at the
distance.
start of the trail.
Yeah, you only be a couple thousand feet.
Right.
It's like opening the door though, because here you are in the heart of the town and it's over there someplace.
Right.
Even though it's where the tracks are. Well, let's count on that, but in the meantime, if you could look through the present one.
So, yep, absolutely, and maybe we could revisit it at our next meeting for a date,
Mhm.
maybe, or 2 days. We don't have to do that now, but maybe for our next meeting, we could talk about 2 dates. That would be good, and pass them on to the selectmen too.
Would we want to do in a larger venue?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. How
Okay.
large were we talking
Are we
about?
talking the big room?
Probably at the very least, the big room, the common
I
room.
think the big room was probably, that would be my gut, is to go there.
Yeah, I mean, Abington has a few places. They have the music room, the high school, they have the gym, and they have.
We could use
common room.
we could use the library, the room in the library.
library.
The problem with the Cotter room is we're always getting bumped.
Ah,
So anyway,
The Cotter,
well,
but,
for this,
yeah, we might bump other people.
yeah. I'm sure we could
No,
actually.
I set up there initially thinking that's where we were.
Yeah, I'm sure we could ask the library. In fact,
Yeah, 'cause that had,
I'm 100% sure. that
where we
library
have the
might
mobile
do
camera,
that.
it might be a place to do it too. So
What we could do is, maybe if you want to have a couple working sessions where we spend part of a meeting on the first couple chapters, and one in the middle, and one of the recommendations, just between yourselves. Because you might well feel that some things that made sense in 2006 and 2000 no longer do because of change development, or
Mhm.
that something that was just an idea that really needs much more, emphasis. Jim Franey, a long time ago, when he was selectman, asked us to do a study on the Diane Circle land, both the housing potential and the open space potential. And what we finally recommended was that the low area right next to Beaver Brook be treated as wildlands, that the area that slopes up just a little bit be more of a formal playground, Josiah Spalding, Josiah something road. And then the latter part, which were potentially lots, be lots, hopefully some affordable, but acknowledge that there were already lots. And I think that's still a good idea, but then we began thinking, well, what about Beaver Brook? Why not get some crossings so you can hike on one side, go over, hike on the other side, and come back again? So that we threw footbridges in here that maybe Brockton would paper happen. Abington, maybe they wouldn't happen. But I mean, there are some ideas when you give them a little more thought.
Yeah, and actually,
Right, get more
I'm sure there are
ambitious.
many people that are not on this commission that actually have very interesting ideas. are passionate. Now, I know that you know that your chairperson has got it all together and is incredibly efficient and is
Yes, he is.
very prompt. But in the possibility that he isn't, I think we should have a point person on this, somebody within the commission that we look to. Is there any?
I'd like to do that.
I knew he was going to volunteer,
You
didn't
are
you?
the best. You are the best. Okay, so we are going to have Joe as the point person
I
with
knew
Jim
he
on
liked it.
this. And if there's nothing more, Jim, thank you very much for coming
Sure.
tonight.
Thank you, that was very helpful.
Yes, it really was.
My presentation wasn't very long, was it?
No, it just, it gets us moving. And having the actual, and actually having your draft will probably give us a big help.
I'll email you so you get my I'll give you my contact
Okay, sure.
information too, so.
And available on phone anytime.
Okay.
Or email.
future meeting.
Actually, you know,
Did you have any, did the public have any comments or questions? I think we had somebody here for it, did we?
About the
Yeah.
open space? Oh, sorry, I beg your pardon. Let me throw it out. Actually, Mr. Wheatley
Nice.
would
Oh,
be
you weren't there.
ideal, to talk about it. But
I'm on
is
the board.
there any comment here on the
I'm
open
on the board of
space?
South Shore Housing.
oh, nice.
We've done some things with you.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Charles Whitman, and I'm in favor of the open space. I'm also in favor of the rail trail project.
Right?
I'd like to head up the reconstruction of that. I talked to Dory Jameson about that. She said, come up and talk to the council about that. I said, okay. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to make a proposal that, to the committee, to try to clear and try to preserve that land in way of taking out the rails, doing the upkeep and doing the maintenance on that. That's what my company would like to propose to the board.
That would be terrific. That'd be I know Rockland has done something like that. Donald Kahn from Rockland is very much involved in that. It does actually involve a few people, right? A few bodies. I think it's not quite as easy. It's not just the Conservation Commission. I mean, I think the railroad are actually involved in that. But that would be terrific. Nancy is. Don't leave before
Okay.
you give your name and phone number.
I should get your name right, Charles?
Yeah, Charles, yep,
Last name?
Whitman. Yeah, spelled just like the town.
Right. I thought you said that, but I didn't want to count on it. Are you in the book? Do you have a number?
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I'll give you my tab.
Okay. Then I'll get it right here.
Otherwise, the town's gonna hear it on TV.
You'll be getting lots of calls.
Yeah, I don't know that.
Charles.
I just gave away my last. Okay, thanks very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Excellent. We were lucky. And just while Jim's getting all the stuff, I'd like to bring everybody's attention to our agenda tonight. So Nancy and I had to revise the agenda tonight, simply that in a new business, the first item, in the old agenda, we didn't actually list the street name, we just listed the DP number. So the new revised agenda includes the street number, which is 117 Dale Street. The old agenda just has.
Which
the
one is it,
DP
117?
Yeah, 117. So that's the revised notice of the agenda. If I may, I'd like to move on to new business, and if that's okay, Jim. Yep. And so thank you very much. The first item of our new business is a certificate of compliance for 117 Dale Street, DP number 84-456. And who have we got for that?
My
Come on up.
daughter, come up,
Yeah, please do.
my daughter Kathleen.
Super. Okay. So in the certificate of compliance, they give us a new map which shows what has been done afterwards.
So these are the two new houses on Dale Street? Okay, I just wanted to know.
We don't.
I have here the original order conditions. You have the file. I also have the order conditions if anybody wants to see it.
That's much better.
Bring
for my
down the
eyes.
file. If anybody wants to know. And let us just introduce ourselves. My name is Dennis
Hi,
Bergen.
Dennis. I'm Joe Feeney. Hi, Joe.
I'm Kathy Creighton.
I'm Jerry Telfer.
And Russ Flusher.
Mike O'Connor. This is my daughter Kathleen O'Connor.
So, Mr. Connor, I looked at the original order of conditions, which was done a while back, and it seems that they were very basic.
Yes, sir.
The orders of conditions.
Yes,
So,
sir.
do you want to show us on the map there where your resources, where the wetlands are?
Well, beyond the hay bales is the wetland area. There's actually a river that runs back way down in here. I'm not sure exactly where, but it's not on our property. And we put the hay bales in according to, where we were supposed to. It was wetland flagged with little pink flags and numbers.
And you've got the hay bales up
That is
in
correct.
back
ma'am.
there.
And still there, yes, ma'am.
The only thing I noticed was you guys have not seeded and graded yet.
Yes, we did.
You did?
Yes. We did all the grading. And,
You did the grading, did you seed? Is there anything
we
growing
did-
yet?
Nothing's growing yet. But
Okay.
we
And
did, we
you
did break out, we did breaking out this weather for.
It has been miserable, I
for
understand.
work.
And is your driveway in? I've forgotten between the two properties, sorry.
No, it is not.
And you're gonna have a paved driveway put in?
It's already paved.
But it's not paved?
It is paved.
Oh, it's paved, it's already in, okay, that's fine. So it's just the fact that the grass hasn't grown?
That is correct, yeah.
We didn't hydroseed, so if you drive by, it's not painted green. We just haven't had luck with hydroseed, so we,
I have better luck with seeding.
just regular seed.
So
watering
I
and
guess
starter
the question
fertilizer.
is that, and I don't know what the orders of conditions say, whether we needed it stabilized before we approve it or not. And I don't know quite where that would be, but that would be, it's unusual that we would approve a certificate of compliance without the stabilization being complete. But, if they've already seeded, which
Yeah.
I didn't go
Oh,
look
okay.
to see.
Well, you're welcome to come out anytime.
Yeah.
We're there all the time.
I didn't.
We're there all the time,
That's okay.
7 days a week.
Yeah,
But you-
You're working on the inside, I'm sure.
Right,
It's
you
been
did see
miserable.
it. I mean, it's very, this is in the sedimentation. If we, Kathy, if we do approve the certificate of compliance, we'd probably include H7 of that, which just simply says, certain conditions are ongoing and do not expire until the completion of the project or the issuance of certificate of compliance.
I mean, I think they've got everything done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just it bothered me that there was no grass.
Right,
It's just been
probably bothers you too. You want grass too. or
Right.
something. Yeah, I know.
Well, we have the household, it's a military family that's moving in. They were stationed overseas, they just moved home. They're living in a hotel until we can move them in.
Excellent.
So they're
A new
nice
family to Abington.
A new family, and they're military family, active military, they're currently in the military. The name is Titus, Titus. And they're lifelong military people, and they're moving to Abington, make Abington their home. They're a great family, and they can't wait to get in.
So did any, after you came before the board, for your notice of intent and your orders, was there any changes to the construction?
No, sir.
Can I see the original? Do we have the original plans?
We do.
Can we see the original? I just didn't have that.
Is that proposed?
That's the proposed, yeah.
We might
Oh,
have-
maybe that's what Nancy put in the file here. This is the original proposed.
Yeah.
They're so good. 158,
It's not that
157.
my eyes are failing, it's they're getting smaller, the numbers.
This one's better.
Yeah, they,
Actually, yours is better. It has the lines on it.
yeah, 155.
This has some
156,
contours
157.
plus buffers. This has some wetland markings on it also too.
Yeah, that's the one I saw.
So it has the flags.
No, you got the wrong copy. This is a different one. That's the next one.
on it.
If you
You
want,
got the big
I
one?
have
Yeah,
kind of a big version of that.
yeah, that will help too. It's just,
We're here.
this is where you
Yeah,
are.
this is Chris Mars, who's also in the room right now.
Yeah, but this is the one.
Sorry.
This is the one
Yes, ma'am.
that you're doing.
Yeah.
And, I'm okay with the grading. And it's been PE stamped and it's a professional.
what they were looking at, Mr. O'Connor, was to see whether your plans changed from the original plans for the ordinance
Looks
condition.
pretty
And
darn
the-
close.
Yes, sir.
And then the other thing they were looking for is that usually with compliance, we do ask for an engineer to actually, or somebody to say that it has been complete, and they found the stuff there.
We did, we had our engineer come out and generate a plan.
Excellent. I'm just looking here. You know, I have the orders here, you have them. They really are, they really didn't make them, they didn't actually quote the bylaws, and they just made their normal orders. The only differences that I noticed is they asked for silt barrier 10 feet from a wetland edge, which is a normal thing they do actually. And they asked for everything to be stockpiled more than 50 feet from the wetlands, which is a normal requirement that they put in. And then the rest are administrative and work schedule.
Mm.
What is the address on this again?
I guess we're calling it 117.
Yes.
Okay, so the new orders, it's marked down as 103.
Oh,
Well, you spoke earlier about calling it 117.
Okay.
Yeah, we did, because that was the address.
That's what the assessors have given it, but when it came through initially, it was like lot such and such,
Okay.
yeah.
Lot 1.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. That's right, it was lot 1.
Because Dale Street itself was a development, right, of quite
Yes,
a
sir.
few houses. In fact, we have another one coming up
Yes, sir.
very soon. Yeah. So is there any other discussion? I think the only ongoing condition that you were talking about was grass, and we think grass has been
The grass
seeded.
will grow. You know, it always grows.
Okay. When did you seed the grass? When did you?
2 days ago.
2 days ago.
Well, we just finished.
Right.
You know, we just literally just finished. You know, we just spread the loam
Yeah.
and,
Dug the foundation in the middle of the
Yeah, we're
winter.
not-
so-
yeah,
used
and
to
then we
this.
dug the foundation, and then we got like this much snow.
In Abington, they usually wait about 20 years before asking for a certificate of
Right,
compliance. So
we're
it's-
here,
it's-
we're here
it's-
playing by the rules.
Yeah.
this is very unusual.
All right.
Yeah. You know, this was actually, so do I have a motion to, based on the plans we have and the engineer's mark, to issue a certificate of compliance for 117 Dale Street?
Make a motion, we issue a certificate of compliance for 117 Dale Street.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Russ. All those in favour?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And Nancy, do you have the file on the next one? Do you have the file on the next one? So we're gonna want it.
Trade, yeah.
Nancy, do you, oh, sorry, go ahead. The drawings in here.
Who's here for 109 Dale Street? Hi there, how are you doing? Chris, your last name is on the notice of intent and all. How do you spell it again?
DEMARS. Plans for everybody here, these are the new ones. Thank you.
Now, Commissioners, here, actually, I didn't open this to the public, the last one to the public. Should have done that. But I think we all said. But here, I wasn't too sure if you had to do an amended or the conditions.
Okay.
Because the question for us in the regulations is, does the modification add to the overall project impact, and it's not contrary to the general intent of the order? That's the burden. Now, Mr. Damaris was conservative and decided to file for a revision and amended orders of conditions. So, what's the new work that we're putting on?
Basically what we're proposing to do is you can see on the left side of the property line, there's a 12 by 20 shed that we're proposing to put it in. a swimming pool, and then a well, which is, it's marked in the plan, but it's kinda hard to see if you don't really look at it. It's in the backyard, directly off, basically off the back, middle of the back of the deck. So I wasn't sure if we even had to do a filing at all. So when I went down to the Board of Health in order to pull the permit for the well, they recommended I come up and talk with Nancy to find out, and she said, you know what, to be on the safe side, you might as well. So I had the engineer come out to draft up the plans of where we're proposing to put everything, and then submit it for the amendment. The original order of conditions, as you know, was for the construction of the home itself, which hasn't changed. And we're just proposing the shed, pool, and the well. And everything's obviously still well within the existing hay bale line, which was established before. And you can see the wetlands delineation line, which is set well back from the existing hay bales as it is.
Right. Are there any comments or questions?
Yeah, I recall, there's a stream back here.
There
But,
is.
and how far are the pool and the shed from the,
Yeah,
stream.
that river, the stream is,
it's pretty far back,
it's over 100 feet.
but is it within 200 feet?
It's at I think the whole house is within 200 feet, so that's why we went in for the original order too, along with the wetlands line. But,
Okay. And the only other question I had, I think you're way out of the floodplain,
Right.
you're out of the floodplain of the river, are you?
correct.
Was there anything on the FEMA flood maps for this?
It's not in the flood zone, no.
No,
No.
okay. I just, I didn't look that up.
Yeah, because when we purchased, we had to.
Yeah,
that
to
was
go
checked.
to, go to
Yeah,
the flood
yeah,
maps,
yeah.
yeah.
Are there any other comments? If I may, I'm going to put it to the floor. Is there any comments in the public on this? There's no butters here.
So the pool
Okay.
and the shed are within the limits of the proposed property.
Right.
And the well, how deep is the well?
I think it's approximately 23 feet.
Okay, so you're really going to the groundwater
Yeah,
table rather than to the.
it's an irrigation well only, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
That's it. Thankfully.
Okay. I'm going to bring it back to the commissioners. Is there any other discussion? No, I don't think that there is actually a change in the impact, only a change in the orders. So here we would just be amending the orders condition to include this work,
Okay.
okay? So that includes the pool. What is the work that you have?
The pool, the shed, and the well.
Pool, the shed, and the well.
And the well, yeah.
Do I have a motion to approve the amended notice of intent with the order of conditions as stated?
Actually, one more question. When were the hay bales put up?
When? They were put up, it was probably, it's been a long time.
And they're still in good condition now, or?
They're in decent condition. I'm
Okay.
not opposed to replacing them if necessary, but it's been over a year. So
It might be.
Yes.
Or either just, are they double staked now?
They are, yeah.
They are,
They
so.
are.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they're still there. There's a few that have been hit, on occasion with a machine here or there,
Yeah.
but for the most part, they're intact. But
That
I'm
might
not
be worth
opposed to
doing.
doing more. We're still in the process of doing the landscaping now. The landscape project should be complete by the second week in July. So I would have come in for a certificate of compliance, but now that we're adding this, it's gonna be, gonna be a while longer, until we get the shed and the pool and everything else, in which I think we're gonna do next year.
Yeah, I would just make that as a condition to make sure that the hay bales are in good shape and.
You're not gonna do the pool and the shed right now?
No, that's probably not gonna be until next spring, unfortunately.
Oh, definitely, we're gonna need new
Yes.
hay bales
Yeah.
then.
Yeah, so before we start the work on the pool, if you look at the plan too, just to show you guys, pretty much here at the back side of the steps from the deck, this grade is, goes from 160 to 158 over here. So when we do the pool, they suggested that they're gonna either take the earth out to make it level over there for the pool, or you add it in to make this whole area 160 basically, which is what we're gonna do. And we're gonna put up a small retaining wall here, just to bring that grade up to 2 feet so it's level.
You're gonna put a retaining wall here, but not along the wetland side, right?
Correct, yep, and then basically it's just gonna slope down to the existing grade where it's at now here, but it's just for this pool area, basically. So if we do that, when we do the pool, you know, we could probably do new hay bales from here to that retaining wall area, if that's all right with you guys.
Yeah, I feel comfortable with that, as long as we should be notified that the new hay bales are going in, we can
Yep.
come out and look at them and
Sure.
make sure that they're all set and inspect them before you do any
Yeah, we'll,
type of excavation on the pool and stuff.
yeah, we'll probably do that next spring, so we'll call to get the hay bales and we'll have you guys out before we start any work on the pool area.
That's all I have.
Okay, so the
Okay.
two conditions, the two added conditions are hay bales in good shape, continued maintenance of the hay bales, and notified prior to the excavation of the pool. Okay. Right, do I have a motion to approve the amended notice of intent with those orders?
Motion we approve.
Thank you, Jerry. Do I have a second? Thank you, Ross. All those in favour?
Aye.
Thank you for that.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And we're gonna keep one of these, I think.
Sure, yeah,
If
I,
we might.
so, yeah.
Who has the, you got the file? So we're gonna do
Have
that.
a-
Do you guys want, I have multiple copies, so you can keep a few.
You know, Put them all on there.
Oh,
Oh, thank you.
very cool, thank you. Sure that-
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ross. Right, so we're on our third item, which is a request for determination of applicability for Brian Banks and Maura Cluett of 263 Randolph Street to construct a 6-foot-high wood stockade fence and grinding of tree stumps. It's very hard for me to say since I'm from Dublin, but tree stumps. Thank you, and we have the file here. That's down to you.
Oh, we got plans. Oh, Russ is gonna fix us up.
We
How it
get the
works.
color.
We get the color, I'll make those on that too, but I had a couple of minutes of spare time, so I figured I'd do this.
Now, we have a butter here.
Yes,
too.
I
Yeah, is
can
it all right if I
Jerry.
give this, I was gonna give this
That's
to
cool.
them.
And you can have
Russ is
mine.
over there.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's do that.
This is Brian Banks' property, this is
Yeah.
where he's gonna put the fence and other stuff that he wants to take from.
Okay,
Okay.
so what's
This
happening?
is, as you mentioned, for Brian Banks, who wishes to construct a fence within his property, and also to grind out 3 old stumps that have been there for a while. So John Carter here prepared the plan, and I'll certainly let him present it to you.
Thank you. So what we have here, we were asked by Brian and his wife, Maura, who's now Maura Banks, she's no longer Maura Cluett. Brian wanted me to make sure that everybody knew that.
Excellent, congratulations.
But, so what we've done is we've gone forward on his property and located the stumps that are in question, and also, he's had a fence company go out and actually mark where they wanna put the fence. So where you see the fence located as a proposed stockade fence, there's flags out there that delineate where exactly they wanted to put the fence. And we're here before you tonight because there was an area of bordering vegetated wetlands that had been flagged prior to his project, and also the existing stream that runs on Mr. and Mrs. Power's property, and actually along the back along Mr. and Mrs. Riley's property. So he is, as you can see, within the bordering vegetated wetlands, 100-foot buffer, and also within the 100-foot riparian zone. We're asking for request for determination due to the fact that the work that is being done is looked at as minor and in nature, and is There's no grading, the only thing they'll be doing is digging holes for the posts, and they're actually gonna grind the stumps in place. They're not gonna be pulling the stumps out to upset the grade, the surrounding grade. It'll just be right at the spot where the stumps are. So there would be no, don't wanna say there's no heavy machines. I mean, they're gonna have a stump grinder that's gonna be in place to perform that task, but the fence itself is gonna be, they may have an auger. I haven't talked to the fence company, but at the very most, I think they probably have a hand auger that they're gonna use and auger the holes. But that would be it. So what we're looking to see is if we can get a determination from the board so that they can proceed and put their fence up. Their dog is very anxious to get this. He's a great big dog, and he's got a little tiny dog kennel there. And we all feel bad for him because he looked like he could jump on and ride him as a pony. But that being said, that's what we're looking towards, is to see if they can proceed and go forward with their fence.
Thank you very much.
And with the stumps.
Thank you. I'm just going to quickly jump in and say that I did go and have a look at the site. Maybe some other people did too. And I took some photographs. So if I may, I'm just going to put the map that I had. And let me see. So one is, this is the back where the buffer zone is. Two, that's where the stream is and Mr. and Mrs. Power's property.
But that's pretty far back, though. You have it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it's pretty far. I actually took it from.
Oh, that's where you took it from?
I took it from 1, 2. I literally took it from there.
Okay.
3 was the riparian
I think so.
zone, and there's literally right here on Katrina Park and Wayne Page's land, there's a culvert, and so I took a photograph of that so you can see that.
Cool.
4 were the stumps. So there's 2 stumps here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and 5 was a stump that's on its own.
Okay.
So I don't know if that helps, but
Well, it doesn't look like to take the stumps down, you're gonna have to take any vegetation down. You're just
No,
gonna
they're just gonna-
drive right to
Yeah,
it,
no,
because
they're
it's
in
all
the
grass
lawn.
there, so.
They're in his lawn right now.
So the fence goes on both sides of the property and the back of the property as well?
Correct.
Pretty much
Yeah.
you're,
If you were out there, but if you were out there, it's all lawn area that they're gonna put the fence in at the back of the site. The last, probably the last 100 feet is woods. So they don't wanna go into the woods at all. They just wanna
they're just,
put
yeah,
the fence along.
they're gonna go right to the edge of the
the
lawn
edge of
there.
the lawn.
Right.
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
are there any other questions or comments? I'm going to put it out. I know we have some butters, Mr. Powers and Mr. Powers. Do you want to have a look there at my photographs?
Oh, Rodney Powers, 227, on Butter. This wasn't a grass area 2 years ago. RDA should have been done 13 months ago. The trees are gone now, and there's nothing we can do about it. The fence we have no problem with. Is this the boundary line here?
That's
Yeah,
correct.
yeah.
This stump is on someone else's
It's,
property.
yeah, we did a
Just over the
survey,
line.
we did a survey for him so that we could delineate the property lines, and it's a triangular piece of property we discovered, and we do not know who owns it at this point. So he doesn't own it, but it could go back to Freeman Atwood at this point. We're not sure exactly what happened, but there is a gap between the properties on the left of them and the banks. So the third stump, in actuality, they don't own it. They don't own it. We don't know who owns it at this point.
And should it be taken down?
Well, if they feel that it shouldn't be,
Because this one here has got a superseding order against it.
I know, I understand that.
So-
I understand that.
Now, do you think you should,
They can, if the board so desires and they say he shouldn't touch it, he won't touch it. That would be fine with everybody. I would talk to Brian about it, and he said the same thing. If
And then-
it's something that's gonna,
now, this was all trees here at one time. They're not gonna touch these?
No, nothing at
Oh.
all. No,
Okay.
you're gonna leave the
Nope.
trees.
Good.
You're gonna leave that, right? The fence is gonna show, just as it shows on that
Okay.
plan. If you went onto his backyard, you'd see where the fence company has laid some flags out.
I've seen your red stakes here. So.
Oh, yeah, we
Okay.
set his back corner for him.
And Mr. Riley does have a marker there, huh?
Yep, yep.
So,
yeah.
because assessor plans show
Yeah.
on this side.
Yeah, I know it. No, there's a concrete
Yeah.
mound there, and there's a hole right here, right beside it, where a
Okay.
raccoon or someone started to live, and I found it the hard way by stepping in it and falling flat in my face. So,
Better than a
but
hundred.
it was there.
Everything, huh?
Well, just an RDA, you can't file for removing a stump on somebody else's property
Well,
that
we
you don't
don't.
own.
Don't know who owns it.
Yeah, that's correct.
But you still can't do it, you can't put it in with an RDA for a certain property, if it's not on their property. I have no problem with the other two
Uh-huh.
being ground.
Well, that's
And
fine.
the fence we
Whatever.
love,
Okay.
we'd be thrilled with the fence.
We'd
And
absolutely.
that's exempt anyways.
Yeah, I know. But we had no problem with leaving the third stump alone the way it is, so
Okay.
there's no problem. There's no problem with that.
Just, we've had enough just.
I understand, we understand, and, whatever to make it, we're not here to create anything, we just, if it can't be done, I already talked to Brian about it, and that's what he said, if it shouldn't be done, he won't do it.
Okay.
Second, become open space.
So is that, we all set?
Watch me.
Is there any other comments, or we're all set? Thank you very much. I'm going to bring it back, if I may, to the Commission. So when I was researching this, really for request determination, it seemed to me, looking at it, and you have to tell me if I'm wrong, but I was thinking that the issue is whether it was significant to any of our statutory interests, and whether it was significant or not. And if I may, I'm going to read you the regulation that I found on what's significant. Because I think if we do a negative determination, this is where we do not think it's significant to any of the determinations, any of the interests, then it would presumably be because we think there is no significance. So let me just read Regulation 241 says the significant shall be the standard that is to be used by the Conservation Commission or Commissioner in determining what condition, if any, they deem necessary to protect the public interest under the Act. The standard that shall be considered to establish significance in order to protect the said public interest shall include one or more of the following factors. Is there any actual or potential contamination to groundwater? Is there any reduction in flood storage capacity? C, is there any alteration in a river or stream? D, is there any action that would remove or dredge or alter the area? Is there in any way that would be a threat to the health, welfare and safety of the individual or community? E is if there's a poorly drained soil, is there an issue with that? F is the flood in the 100 years. And G is an area which is designated a wetland or floodplain on a restrictive map approved by a Conservation Commission. I cannot see that putting a fence would be a significant interest. Now, it is before us because there are wetlands all around, and that is, so there are wetlands, and when we fill out our determination, we do have to look at that and tick that off. But I cannot see that there is a significant interest, that they would be affected significantly. Is there any other comment?
I agree.
I would agree. I don't, if you guys are amenable, which it sounds like you are, I would suggest, since we can't notify the owner of that property because we don't know who it is, that you just leave that stump alone.
Right, oh no.
And that
we'll
would be
talk.
I think,
Not a
that would
problem.
probably be the only issue I'd have with the plan myself. I'm perfectly fine with the fence. I think
Okay.
it's
Fine.
a pretty simple thing. So we'll, I would make a motion for a negative determination.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All those in favour?
And the only condition, with that, I would like to make a condition that the third stump not be taken out that's shown on the plan.
Since the
On
tree
the other
already was
property.
taken down illegally, nobody knew who owned it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
Thank you,
very much,
guys.
Colin, that was really good, that was great
Yeah,
presentation.
yeah.
I'm gonna pass this along, which is, pretty tricky, okay, thank you. Right, so you've got a lot of stuff here. Who has the map or the file? Danielle?
Oh, it's the file's right there. I think
Thank you
that's
very
it.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Here you go, guys. Oops. I guess it was
Oh, do we have
missed.
to sign? We don't have to sign just the front.
Yeah, there's just a sign that I think I just,
That's my, what we're doing now is just trying to fill in as we do them in the form, so you see what exactly the form is going out to everybody.
that's great. Here,
Ideally,
that's
we
the
might
rest of
actually
it.
even ask people to give, suggested forms, that's how we
Yeah.
usually do it.
Oh, cool.
I mean, that's how the administrative law, that's how we usually do it. This is your,
Oh, okay,
yeah,
I typed up one,
that's okay.
but I mean, I'll
You just-
copy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not a problem, so I'll put that here. This is the certificate of compliance, and this is the order of conditions. Order of conditions.
The amended.
No, no.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the certificate of compliance for Dale Street for the one that needed grass.
Yeah, yes, that's it, that's it, that's it.
That was a new one for me, Dennis.
And we have, I have been sending a cover letter, usually, I only just started now, on really all of them, right? We're gonna try and do that. Right, we've done our new business, so I think we can move on to correspondence. Can we do that? Is there any other new business? Is there any other new items? So, the first correspondence is we have a request for departmental action, that's the DP, based on the decision we made on 12 Temple Street. And this is from Mr. Dombrowski, is it?
So he filed an appeal.
He did, and gone to the DP, and he has filing deficiencies, notice of the intent, it lists deficiencies there. Well, presumably, I mean, he has to appeal what we did. So the conclusion is, he says, the submitted complaint dated April 2nd, 2013 should have been maintained under the enforcement action and should not be allowed to enter the permitting process. Complaint specified removal of the built structure and restoration of altered wetlands area. This is a reasonable action that does not place a financial burden on the violator. And he really goes, his issue is with the bridge. It should have been taken down, he believes. So I'm going to pass this along to you. We're going to send our file to the DP. They actually have a copy of the notice of intent. And do you have a copy of our orders?
Yes.
Yeah. But I may get the videotape for that meeting too, so they can see why we made the decision we made. And if possible, one of us will certainly be at a DP hearing for this. The next is a letter from the Russell Weekly Company, and it's on Linwood Street. And if I may, I'll just read it. During the construction phase of a dwelling on Linwood Street near the intersection of Rockland Street by Mr. Crowley, it was discovered that there was a shallow ditch to the north of the construction site that had not been seen before due to the heavy snow during the winter. We contacted Brooke Monroe, botanist, and she inspected the site thoroughly. Her determination were there were no wetlands around the ditch. However, we thought it prudent to construct a siltation fence between the construction site and the shallow ditch, even though there was a lack of wetland species. The contractor was so instructed, and siltation fence is in place at this time. Construction of the house has continued this time, but we thought it's prudent to inform you that this voluntary safeguard has been provided. Russell A. Wheatley. So literally telling us that they found at most an isolated section. And remember, I don't know if you remember back, we had that issue back in, I can't remember which site it was, where Mr. Lapointe, when we looked at it, do you remember that? When we looked at it. So really, Mr. Wheatley, you're just notifying us, right, of this, that you found it. I don't think it changes.
How big was the ditch?
It's about 6 inches deep and about, well, no, it's more like about a foot deep,
Right,
about 2 feet long. It takes the runoff from the road. On Linwood Street, instead of having catch basins and drain manholes, they had a series of ditches that ran along the east side of the road.
And how long is the ditch?
We shot it, and it was about 135 feet long, from the street to the end of it.
Does it connect to anything?
We don't think so. We had it flagged back.
And you have, you had your wetlands person look at this though.
Yeah, we had Brooke come back out and look at it. We had her come back and look at it to see if there was any wetland vegetation, more than just the ditch. And when she looked at it, she thought it would have been just the bank of the ditch. So it's about, the ditch itself is probably at the closest 25 feet to the house, and goes to about 50 feet from the house as it goes back. So that's why we had, they had started stripping the loam, and we had started staking the building out. And at that point, when we had a couple of mistakes, we saw the ditch, we stopped, we contacted Paul, we told Paul we contacted Brooke Monroe, and at that time, we had Brooke come out to the site with us, and we looked at it. And then we told Paul what our feeling was is to at least put some kind of mitigating measure between his activity and the ditch.
Did
So that's
Brooke
what we did.
Monroe determine that the ditch wasn't a wetland? I guess is really the question I'm asking you.
She called it a drainage ditch.
She said there was virtually no wetlands.
Right, because there's no vegetation to go with it.
Right.
So it was more of a drainage channel at this
Correct.
point. Okay.
Correct.
It was simply a courtesy to the commission to install a siltation fence. Since there was a ditch there that had not been identified. So she did not flag it, and she said there was no wetlands involved.
Dennis,
Yeah.
I would like to, if it's, ask the board, I think it might be smart of us to ask for a report from Brooke Monroe for the files, just so that we have that cleared up. But I don't know how, frankly, it's just, it's long enough. It sounds like it's not a wetland, guys. I mean, that's how I feel, from the sounds of it.
Right.
But I think it would be helpful to have something from the wetland scientist. You could just send us a letter with her signature. That might be helpful, I think.
Okay.
That would be my suggestion. Are you guys, does that make sense?
Yes, yeah,
Sure.
Perfect.
Sure. Is
Okay.
Mr. Crowley's paying for that?
Yes.
But she's already been out to the
She's
sites,
already been out to the site.
Yeah, she's been out to the site and inspected.
so she just needs to write up something.
That's all.
Yeah, I think that might be the way to address that, because that way the file will be complete.
Okay.
So, from a little ditch to a demolition. As you know, we have a wee problem in Centre Avenue, and the building inspector called us out for emergency certification, and we did that. And I spoke to one of the owners, Mr. Anderson. The emergency certification, do you know when that was done? I need to find that out. It's actually 60 days. I said it was 30 days, but asbestos was found on the site. It was found in the roof, and it was removed. So in fact, it goes to 60 days, and they actually have to work with the DP on that, and they actually have removed it, are working with the DP, and are waiting for a certification from the DP. In fact, yeah.
I'm sorry, March 29th.
March 29th.
So April 29th, May 29th, so is 60 days.
The building inspector, Marshall, asked me about extending the emergency order. Now, actually, you cannot extend the emergency order, but one person can, and that's the commissioner, the DP commissioner. So it is possible for him to extend it. And I wrote a letter, I chatted to Mr. Anderson, and I memorialised my conversation with him and the building inspector, and this is a copy here. But basically, I suggested that it might be better to have, well, I'll read quickly background. Centre Avenue site has a barn or a building that has collapsed. In addition, there are many tyres. Do you remember the tyres?
Mm-hmm.
The nearby resources are the riverbank and associated wetlands. The Commission, upon request of the building inspector, issued an emergency certification for 30 days. I note in the certification the possible existence of asbestos. Therefore, the certification is for 60 days for immediate response actions approved by the Bureau of Waste Site Cleanup. And that actually is what happened. The landowner has speedily cordoned off the area, examined for asbestos, and removed the asbestos found in the roof and cement. They are currently waiting a certificate of compliance from DP prior to further action such as demolition. Where the building inspector raised the issue of extension of emergency certification, I note that only the commissioner can do that, and I actually quoted the regulation. I suggest that they might do a report within the structure of a notice of intent to us, stating the work already completed, the remaining tasks including protection of the riverbank by screens, the demolition of the building, and the taking away of the tyres. I would also appreciate it if you include the removal of tyres from the buffer zone of 200 feet from the riverbank, which was not originally in our emergency certification. So I've suggested that. The letter has gone out. Did it go out today, or it went out June 24th? And I think Mr. Anderson is on board with that. So a notice of intent, and what I think is that we will pass this on to the Commissioner of DP, because they may well extend it, but honestly they'd want to have a plan. We can also keep tabs on this within our notice of intent. Do you think that's a good resolution?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll pass this letter on for you so you can see.
I wouldn't like to see it extended any further than just to keep extending it, and the building just sits there.
Things were, I made a phone call to Mr. Anderson, but in fact things were getting rather serious, and the building inspector himself was he himself has his own powers of enforcement, and he was thinking of taking, issuing powers based on that. But if they come forward with a plan and this intent, we can move forward on that. I'm particularly concerned because it's the summer months. Firstly, it's been there since March, probably been there beforehand, but this is the summer months, and it's a danger to the public, as well as a problem with the wetlands. And it may well even be a liability to the town. I've already notified the selectmen on that.
Has the building inspector condemned the building?
I don't know if he has condemned the building. I don't know. That's a good
Would
question.
that speed up
the fire they have to move within a certain time. I think they are literally waiting for DP to sanction what they did in asbestos. Fire has put their mark on it, so nobody can go near it. I don't know if the building inspector has condemned it. He was the person who called us out.
Right, I don't know if that would trigger a time frame for them to get it to come down.
Yeah. I think this is a letter. It's a very easygoing letter from us. but you're gonna hear about this at our next meeting. And constantly until we have the notice of intent.
Okay.
You know, the next step is to go forward with any enforcement issues that we have. We
Mhm.
might have to do that. I think Mr. Anderson understands that.
Yeah, I think communication back and forth is good if communication stops,
Yeah,
there's a pause, and then, like you were saying, I think we should get a little tougher on it, but
yeah,
he's trying to do the right thing,
Yeah,
he's
actually.
communicating, so.
yeah, they've cordoned it off and they're working hard on it. I've no other correspondence, right? No.
Oh, just 2 notices of intent for the next meeting.
Oh,
These are
excellent.
your copies.
Okay, all right.
So, just so you know, one is on 810 Washington Street, McBarry. Is that McSharry? Is that a house? Single family home. And 806 Washington Street. PMP Associates, and it's also McSharry. So it's two construction houses. All right, approval of minutes. Did you get the minutes for, what day was it?
It was May 28th.
May 28th.
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
I second.
All those in favour?
Aye.
We had building permits. Jerry, were you out on your building permits?
I do, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, there were more than what we.
Lot 2 Linwood Street, I went to, 5 Mahoney Circle and 614 Summer Street.
Yeah.
Plus a few others, but they're probably for the next meeting.
Okay.
But they were all fine.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you for doing that. And Bill, of course, also does it. He's actually excused. He's on vacation, and so is Mr. Noonan. So they're excused from the meeting.
Well, I lost my computer for 10 days, so I kept visiting Nancy. She give me the work.
So is there any other business?
I did see that the silt fence has been put up for 92 Progress, which was good.
Oh, yes.
They have it all cordoned off, it looks nice.
So do I have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
All those in favour?
Aye.
Okay, thank you very much. And again, Joe, I'm sorry for the late.
Thank you.
I'll let you back.
I just know.